Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Courtside Soundoff podcast once again. I'm Josh Evanoff. As always, welcome by the one and only Angel Ortega. Lots to talk about this week. Obviously, we took last week off. No real news, no real fights, nothing really going on. But we are back once again. UFC Vegas 46 going down Saturday night. We're going to talk about some MMA news. Cap it off with some NFL talk. Obviously, we do that rarely on the show, but playoffs coming up. Just go ahead and talk about that as well. Before we get into all that and more, just want to go ahead and quickly remind people, RogueEnergy.com, amazing website for everything in the world of energy. Obviously, you can go ahead and, if you want 10% off your order, use the code SOUNDOFF at checkout. It's code SOUNDOFF at checkout for 10% off of all your energy needs. Me and Abe's going to test. We wouldn't promote it if it was not good. You know, they've been a great sponsor of the show for a very long time, and just make sure to use code SOUNDOFF at checkout. That's 10% off. So, as always, shout out to the guys at Rogue Energy. This Saturday night, though, from the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada, so glad to be saying those words after the long hiatus. MMA is back, ladies and gentlemen.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, indeed. UFC Vegas 46 on January 15th. The main event, a featherweight banger. All right? Calvin Kattar taking on Giga Chikadze. Calvin obviously took a year off. Damn near, it's going to be almost a full year, almost to the day, actually. Last time he fought was January 16th, 2021. He'll be fighting on the 15th. Obviously, he got brutalized by Max Holloway. One of the most one-sided fights of all time, partially why he took a year off. And he's taking on Giga. Giga, obviously, on a tremendous run right now. He's in the title conversation, which we'll talk about the title later on. But he is on I believe, an 8-fight winning streak. Obviously, he's been taking out a couple of legends recently, defeated Cub Swanson via TKO, defeated Barboza via TKO. The Barboza fight was the first main event of his career as well. Look, man, this is a great fight. Obviously, this is the first time back for MMA for a couple of weeks. What do you think about this featherweight banger on Saturday?
I mean, just in and of itself, dude, I mean, it's fucking exciting. You know, I think the one issue maybe some people would have with it is it the right matchup with Calvin at this time? Is this the guy who should be fighting? You know, I don't know if at least for me, I don't know if I fully agree with that, but I don't disagree with it either. You know, but at the same time, with the people who are available at the time and, you know, with who's fought recently, you know, this is probably the best option he had. So it makes sense, but at the same time, I do understand those feelings from the people who maybe aren't fully, like, agreeing with this fight. Maybe they thought he should have had someone a little lower level outside of the top 10. I don't know. Do you share any of those feelings, or have you heard anything like that as well?
You know, I have heard some stuff along those lines. I know that some people wanted Calvin to take even more take more time off, is what I've heard. Not within his camp, just like fans and stuff. But yeah, I get that criticism. I honestly do, because whenever you have a beating like that, I honestly thought like a good guy for him, because he is fighting down. Giga is only ranked number 8, but he's also on an insane run right now.
Mm-hmm.
I thought a good fight would obviously have been potentially a Shane Burgos rematch, maybe Alex Caceres, somebody on the lower end of the top 15. But this is what we're getting, and it's going to be a fun fight. That I'm not really worried about. But yeah, I mean, to go from taking arguably the worst beating of all time to turn right around and have to fight an absolute killer in Giga, it is. I would have liked to see him get a bit of a warm up, but you know, UFC generally hates doing that sort of thing. But you know, I guess it makes sense for Calvin, because he wants to get back into the title conversation. And Giga, for him, you know, if he wins this, he's arguably next in line. Obviously, the title's having a bit of a weird thing going on right now with Max Holloway having stepped out of his title fight against Volkanovski. Now Korean Zombie in. We'll talk about that later on. But yeah, you know, if Giga, he wins this one, he might get into the title conversation, maybe get a shot next. And speaking of which, do you think he gets it done? Or do you think Calvin Kattar pulls off the upset? From what I've seen, most people tend to think this is kind of a Giga showcase, for lack of a better term.
I mean, I don't think it. I mean, it could be, right. It could become that, right, depending how what he presents and what he does on the night of. I don't think that'll be the case. I think Calvin will actually give him a pretty good fight, man. I mean, you know, he's capable of taking it to the ground. I don't think he'll be going down there. It's not like that's his thing. And him up top is pretty fucking brutal, dude. I mean, if you knock someone down and he gets above him, dude, his ground and pound is pretty fucking solid, dude. Like I mean, it's not the first thing that comes to mind, but if you go back and watch some of those knockdowns he has, dude, I mean, when Jeremy Stevens went down, dude, he went down there so quick against Jeremy Stevens and started laying down on him, dude. So if for some reason he's able to get, Giga down or he ends up on the ground because of a knockdown and he's above Giga, dude, he's going to lay waste into him, and I think that could be dangerous. I think in the boxing range, I think Giga could have some trouble because, in that really short range right there, foot to foot, dude, those elbows coming in, and you saw that fucking elbow put out was it Jeremy Stevens last time out? Well, that wouldn't be last time out, but, when they fought.
When they fought back in May 2020.
Yes, correct. I wonder how that'll be and how he'll react to that. If he's not able to find his range and not able to stay at a distance, is he going to be able to set up his kicks? And along with that, I wonder how, for Calvin, it's going to be how's he going to deal with the kicks, are the kicks going to be effective? Is he going to be able to get out of is he ever going to be in danger of them? Is he going to get caught? Is he going to hide his punches well? Is he going to hide his kicks well with his punches, or his punches good with his kicks, vice versa, like that. There's a lot of things that I'm curious to see what happens. I think he will be able to. I think he'll be able to establish things very well. I think he'll be able to find his range easily, quickly on. I feel like a guy who's tight like that will just make it easier for a guy who's a kickboxer like Giga. And, let's be honest, dude. With Giga, you get what he, what's the word? I'm trying to think of it. What you see is what you get with him.
Yeah.
That's the proper word. So, and, we're not going to expect him to take it down to the ground and chase submissions. But we saw in that Edson Barbosa fight, man, once it ended up on the ground for a second there, he was chasing some submissions, which showed some growth in his game.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said before, when we were talking a little bit in the pre-show, me, aka the green room, I brought up the fact that, he was fighting like guys like me, dude, guys with no fucking records, you know what I mean? Guys who had like no wins, I think he beat a guy who was like 1-10 at one point, you know what I mean? But now he's finally beat guys who could hit back, guys who are fucking legends, like you said. And I'm on the Giga train, man. I think he's going to do it. I really don't think he's overrated. Do I think he lacks some things? Yes. I think he's not a complete fighter yet, and he's going to have some challenges once he gets to the, guys who are well-rounded, who can strike, who can wrestle, who can grapple, But I think right now, against Calvin Kattar, I think he's going to get it done, man.
Yeah, fair enough, man. I can tell you did your research. Proud of you. Yeah, man, this is going to be an interesting fight. I will say this much, though. This is a fight that I think is a terrible matchup for Calvin Kattar. Especially, John, because, we mentioned, in terms of him coming back and fighting a lower-ranked guy, I think he would have been fine had he been, depending on who he was fighting. I think, Giga, this is going to be a stand-up fight. Now, can Giga take it to the mat, potentially? I think he, like you mentioned, he's shown growth in his game. A lot of Calvin has that sort of boxing base, which has its advantages and disadvantages. One of those disadvantages with that high guard, dude, guys attack the body all day, especially with kicks. Max did it a lot. Max, he's not known to be that much of a kicker. I mean, he's showing some flash kicks every once in a while, but he was digging to the body in that Calvin fight with spinning back kicks and a bunch of different shit, and that's kind of Giga's thing, man. The Giga kick is literally a thing that he has. Like, that's
the Giga kick.
The Giga kick. That's what he calls it when he kick, that little side kick to the body that he does. Yeah, man, I think it's a really bad matchup for Calvin. I really do. I think he's gonna give him some problems early. I think Giga is somewhat hittable, and I think that he's gonna give him some problems early. However, Calvin does not deal well with pressure, and he also does not deal well with, honestly, kicks to the body, kind of people going to the body because he has such that high guard. I'm going to go ahead and take Giga. In what capacity? I have no clue. I can absolutely see Calvin pulling off an upset just because he's got, look, man, Max no-sold a lot of Calvin's punches because he has arguably the greatest chin of all time. But Max still had to take some bombs in that fight. I feel like we're going to learn a lot about Giga's chin. We're going to learn a lot about what he's made of because as much as I like guys like Barboza, I thought that was a really bad matchup for him. And I also thought that, the Cub Swanson fight, I thought would have been a really good test. And then, I'm not saying, it's his fault, but he took him out in 30 seconds because of a kick to the liver. So,
that's pretty fucking impressive, though.
It is impressive as fuck, but we're also, I feel like we would have learned a lot more had that fight had a little bit more to go on.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
I feel like we're going to learn a lot more about Giga in this fight. I'm going to go ahead and take him to get the win. Potentially, he will be getting a title shot next if he does get it done, but don't count your eggs before they hatch, because Giga's been talking all week about getting a title shot, but I feel like he might be overlooking Calvin a little bit. I feel like a lot of people are. But again, we'll have to see on Saturday night. This card's been taking a lot of hits, in terms of like pullouts, in terms of injuries, COVID stuff, as always. And as a result, we have a new co-main event, that being Caitlin Chikadze taking on Jennifer Maia, two top flyweights. Neither one very close to a title shot at all, partially because they've both been mauled by Valentina Shevchenko, but there still is a matchup of two top 5 flyweights, both of them coming off a couple of wins. Here's a fun fact about Caitlin Chikadze. If she gets the win here, but it's not a finish, she will have the most wins in UFC history without a single finish. So,
wait, what?
yeah, I believe this would be win number 10, I believe.
Oh, wait,
she gets
female and male?
Correct.
Wow.
So, potentially making history in the co-main events. Do you think she gets it done on Saturday?
I think she does. They have history, but I think these are two fighters who haven't fully evolved. They haven't evolved since the last time they fought. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't think you're going to see a lot of change. Usually when fighters fight a second at a time and it's a few years later, they usually change, maybe evolve their game, grown. I think with them, we're not going to see any of that. There's not going to be any growth with them. There's not going to be any sort of evolution with them. And it's going to be, I think, relatively kind of a similar fight. And, I'm not going to lie, Maia sometimes doesn't have that full output that I kind of wish she had. Like, just a little bit more on the gas, and I feel like she'd seal some more out. So I think we're going to have another Caitlin Chikadze win here. I think she's going to be 2-0 against Jennifer Maia.
Yeah, and I agree with the output thing on Jennifer Maia. Because Jennifer Maia she's interesting, and I like a lot of her grappling, and I still think that to date, she probably gave Shevchenko her best fight. I mean, that doesn't mean a whole lot, but a couple of those rounds there, man, she was getting takedowns, she was making her work, which is something that you can't really say about most Shevchenko opponents. But I do think that Chikadze is a bad matchup for Jennifer Maia. She's pretty good takedown defense. She's competent on the ground. She has a relatively high output. Now, she doesn't put a lot on her punches. She kind of just throws a lot of feints, throws a lot of kicks. She doesn't sit down on anything, which is part of why she's never gotten a finish in the UFC. But I do think that she's going to be able to go ahead and take this one probably just on output. I don't think Jennifer Maia is going to be able to get her down. So yeah, man, I'm going to go and take Caitlin Chikadze to get the win in the co-main, move up the rankings. And she's been quietly putting it, like, you don't think about it, Caitlin Chikadze, man, quietly putting together a nice little UFC run, which I don't think anybody would have imagined, whenever, a couple of years back. But she's like cleanly like the number, maybe behind Andrade, like the clean number 2 in that division. Like she's turned around, like she's at the gate. She's the gatekeeper for like the top of the division. She's turned away quite a few people. I think she does the same Jennifer Maia once again on Saturday. Yeah, this card's taking a couple of hits, but outside of the main and the co-main, what are some of those undercard fights that you're looking forward to on Saturday?
I mean, we got to highlight it, man. Brandon Royval versus, is it Rogerio Bontrain? I think that was pretty solid. You got to give me that.
I think that's pretty solid.
I mean, that's a fucking, Brandon Royval's an exciting guy, dude. I mean, he's had one of the toughest starts in his UFC career, man. You got to give him credit, dude, for being a guy who came into UFC 9-4. First fight, Tim Elliott. Second fight, Carl Francis submits him. Third fight, Brandon Moreno, followed by Alexander Pantoja. I mean, that's pretty fucking insane, dude.
It's as tough as it gets. And by the way, every single one of those fights has been an absolute banger. Every single one.
Even the ones he lost. Like, yeah. It's shitty, but even the ones he lost.
2 of his 4 fights were fight of the night. So, yeah. And I honestly, in that Moreno fight, he went 1 round, even then I think he could give it a good case of being fight of the night. Straight up. That was such a fun fight.
And it had such a shitty ending, too, which is so sad, man. You wonder what would have happened if the shoulder wouldn't have popped out. It was a really devastating moment. But hey, man, someone else ended up being on that end of it, and Brandon Moreno's in that position now because of that night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, entirely. It is going to be a very, very fun fight. I like Royval a lot. Now, I would have never expected him coming to the UFC and being as good as he was, because, look, man, he had a bit of a rough time on the regional scene in LFA. He got signed to the UFC with like a 10-4 record, I believe. Yeah, man, but he's really turned his career around to being a top 5 guy that I honestly would never would have expected. Tough matchup, though. Very, very tough matchup. Rodrigo Bontarien, very, very good fighter. Now, if he can get his weight under control, I feel like he'd be a lot better.
He's I mean, they're both big dudes, dude.
He's a big boy, but I don't believe Royval's missed. I don't think.
No, Rebel is 5'9", though.
Yeah, that's true.
He could fight at featherweight. Like,
he totally could. He is a frame. But yeah, man. Overall, it's gonna be a banger of a fight. Outside of that one, I mean,
it kind of slows down, man. But Chase Sherman, I think he's in kind of a desperate need of a win right now against Jake.
I saw an interview where he said that he knows this is his last shot.
I mean, so. And let's be honest, Josh, he can't lose to Jake. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect Jake Collier, but
he could.
That's not the kind of guy he should lose to, though.
I don't know, man. I mean, I like Chase.
Not gonna lie though, the Parker Porter loss was pretty bad in my opinion.
Oh no, I agree. I like Chase Sherman a lot as a person, but I think like he, I had a lot of high hopes for him a while back. Whenever he got his first UFC tenure, I guess I should say, once he was racking up a couple of those wins. I've since kind of realized like he is where he is. He's a fun guy. He's got some nice leg kicks. He's not gonna break the top 15, and I could totally see him losing to Jake Collier, honestly. Which is disappointing. It really is.
It's not gonna happen though.
It could.
But it's not going to.
It's just okay. All right, bro. Okay. Anyways, so I mean, an underrated one, Bill Algeo, opening up the main card. This guy's had a couple of bangers in his small UFC run so far. So that one should be fun. Court McGee, dude, Court McGee still being in the UFC is so weird to me. Like I never really think about it, but whenever you think of like long tenured guys, Court McGee he's not that guy that you think of. But he's going on year 12 in the UFC. So fucking very surprising. Yeah, man. I mean, outside of that, I mean, I like Brian Kelleher coming back, but that's essentially it. I mean,
we have Charles Rosa stepping in on short notice too.
Charles Rosa just signed a UFC contract. He's stepping in to fight
TJ Brown
on short notice, fighting a lightweight. So, yeah, man, Charles Rosa is an absolute banger. Like he generally puts in fun fights. He's had a couple of fight of the nights. His last fight against Damon Jackson was pretty damn entertaining. I'm surprised he didn't stop that one because Damon Jackson legitimately looks like he lost like a couple of pints of blood, but they let it go. But, we're going to be talking about that's just a quick rundown of that card. It's a fight night. It's the first one to get back to kind of edge us into the pay-per-view, which is next week, which is very, very exciting. Francis Ngannou, Cyril Gane. That's going to be a phenomenal pay-per-view, but we are going to be talking about a little bit of MMA news, a little bit of UFC news, and there's no bigger news that got announced. There was a couple of stuff that came out this week, obviously. There's nothing bigger than UFC 272. Originally, UFC announced a couple of title fights for this one, obviously the Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski trilogy, as well as Aljamain Sterling defending his title against Petr Yan in a rematch as well. However, after a little bit of issues with that first fight, obviously Max Holloway pulled out, and apparently there was some sort of vaccine issue with the Petr Yan Aljamain Sterling fight. Go figure. UFC had to improvise. They had to move those fights to a different venue. They moved it on to UFC 273 in April, but that March card needed a main event, and there was no bigger main event the UFC could do than making Jorge Masvidal taking on Colby Covington in the Battle of Miami, which for some reason is taking place in Las Vegas. Dude, huge fight. I really didn't think they were going to book it. Give me your early impressions on this welterweight fight going down in March.
Obviously, we're not going to preview it, but dude, fucking banger. I mean, I've said it for like the last year now, dude. I mean, this is the fight to make. Even before that, I mean, think when we found out about Tough in 2020, right? I think I might even mention like it should be Masvidal versus Colby.
Yeah, correct.
A season of that would have been fucking amazing. And I mean, I still feel like it's a missed opportunity because they said they want to bring Tough back again. And honestly, I don't know who they do it with besides those guys. And I thought they would have fucking killed it, dude. The fucking banter back and forth. But I guess Colby couldn't stay in character for that many episodes. So they decided to go this route.
Yeah, man, they did. And I think it is a bit of a missed opportunity, but I also think this is the only way the UFC is going to agree to this fight happening. Because these two are getting paid out the ass to make this fight happen.
I mean, they're going to get mad money, and I mean, if the co-main is to come true, I mean, it's going to be crazy.
Of course, and speaking of the co-main, this one is not confirmed, but sources tell they tell the Courtside Soundoff podcast that Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier will be happening for this card. It has been verbally agreed. I don't know if contracts have been signed, but it's looking like it's going to happen, man. That's another fight I also do not believe is going to happen.
It seemed like it there for a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, and it is, man. It's going to happen seemingly. So what are your early thoughts on that one as well?
I mean, it's a fun matchup. I mean, like, I think at this point, Dustin is just chasing, kind of money shit, man. I mean, he missed out on the title again, sadly. And I understand that, man, he's made a lot of money from that Conor fight. He's going to make a lot of money from this Diaz fight. And, yeah, man, I mean, the only, like I told you, I think the only missed opportunity here it wasn't in Florida, man. I feel like this card should have been in Florida, not in Vegas. So, I mean, it's going to kill it in Vegas, but I think with those guys from Florida who were going to be headlining the card, I mean, they would have fucking had Florida fucking bopping, dude.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's what I said. It's the Battle of Miami happening in Las Vegas. Like,
you know how they wanted to do. You know how Cub Swanson said, "Yo, Uriah." He called that Uriah. Let's do the King of Cali fight. This could have been the King of Florida fight.
Yeah, man. And by the way, that's a fight that I want to see happen so badly, dude.
WEC never die.
WEC never die. They're supposed to fight back in didn't Uriah say they're supposed to fight in 2004 or something?
Yeah, for like $1,000.
Yeah, dude. That's such a banger. And by the way,
actually, Cub wasn't even gonna make $1,000. They were gonna pay him like $300, I think.
Yeah, that sounds alright, dude. Uriah Faber, he's in that weird place where he's like retired but not retired, and he's like, you know what? If this is a fun fight, I'll fucking do it. And I'm like, I respect that, bro. I really respect that.
That's how it should be, dude. That's how it should be for these older guys. If they see opportunities like that, that's what they should do. And and it's also another older guy, and it's perfectly fine. I think this is a scenario with these guys who are not like in their primes anymore, but are big time legends and still want to compete. This is the kind of shit they need to do.
And by the way, let me go ahead and say something too. In case anybody's wondering, I have no clue if Nate has re-signed with the UFC. I just know this fight is apparently going to be happening in UFC 272. Yes. That's what I've heard. I have no clue if he's re-signed his deal. I know there was I'm
guessing that's what they're trying to figure out right now. That's what they're trying to figure out. That's why it hasn't been made official, but it's a big fucking rumor. And I mean, if it's true, I mean, Josh, he's really going to go box fucking Jake Paul or someone.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he will. Just because I'm assuming the only way the UFC would have done this fight is if they were, if he was re-signing,
I guess.
Because they wanted to make that Conor fight, but also Conor needed more time. And, they had an extension because Nate kept on declining fights. And whenever you keep on declining fights, there's an extension that goes on with your contract. Time-wise, I mean, not fight-wise. Mm-hmm. So I don't know anything about his contract right now. I just know that apparently they're going to make this fight, and I'm assuming they're getting close to doing some sort of an extension for maybe a couple more fights. But we'll see what happens there, dude. I mean, the UFC 272 is an absolute banger of an event, but so is UFC 273. We mentioned a minute ago those couple of title fights got moved, and speaking of getting moved, obviously Max Holloway pulled out, so now moving into his position is the Korean zombie, Chan Sung Jung. Apparently, he's won 3 of his last 4. He was in the title conversation whenever he fought Brian Ortega, but he couldn't get that one done. Picked up a win over Dan Ige last year. And now he's stepping in at short notice to fight the champ, Alexander Volkanovski. Dude, I know that this is not the popular matchup. In fact, I've seen a lot of fan backlash to this fight online. People wanted to be Triple C. They wanted to see it be Giga Chikadze. They wanted to see it be Ryan Rodriguez. They want to see it happen, see a lot of other people step in. What do you personally feel about this matchup?
I mean, look, it'll be fun. I just wanted to see C4. I felt like if they were ever going to let a guy try to become triple champ or they want to do some crazy shit like that, I felt like Henry would have been the perfect guy. And I mean, his story is just fucking amazing, dude. His legacy would be insane. If he were to win that, he'd probably be the greatest combat athlete of all time, undisputedly. I'll just say
I think you can make a very good case, yeah.
I mean, gold Olympian, three weight division champ, beat 3 champs at a different weight class. I mean, no one even comes close to that, dude.
Fair enough.
I mean, if he would have done it, right? Obviously, it didn't happen. But, and plus that Volk would have been an ideal matchup, height-wise and size-wise, for Henry.
Exactly. He said that he wanted to fight Max like a couple of years ago. But I was like, dude, that's a terrible matchup.
That's a terrible matchup.
But Volk is the only dude, and Volk's going to be quite a bit bigger than him, but it's the only time he's going to have anybody even close.
Yeah, I think it would have been like a 2 to 3 inch difference, which honestly, you fought guys that high difference before.
Exactly. Now, granted, in terms of weight, Volk is built like a brick shit house, dude. Like, he's so much bigger than Henry Cejudo.
I mean, that's what happens when you do the sauce and you're and you play rugby. No, I was kidding.
No, I don't think he was on the sauce. He was just a fat guy when he played rugby.
I mean, yeah, you're just husky when you play rugby. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, it's gonna be honestly, did I want to see C4 happen? Yes, I think they should have given him the opportunity.
I mean, everybody was down for C4 in the MMA community, dude.
I know, and it seemed like a perfect time too, because like, you know, they didn't want to give Henry the shot because like, you know, he retired and that was just a money play, and they don't like that shit. They really don't like that shit.
Uncle Dana wasn't having it, but I'm like, Uncle Dana, why?
Exactly, Uncle Dana, why? You know, I get why they didn't do it.
And plus, if he were to lose, I feel like for the UFC, be like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that should have been.
Yeah, they'd be done with Henry.
Yeah,
and they clearly don't have a good relationship with him, so.
Yes, it would have been a good way to end terms.
Exactly, but I guess not. I guess they just don't want to take the risk of him pulling a GSP. You know, pulling a GSP, getting the title, and then retiring. Because it kind of devalues the division. I get why. You know, it is disappointing, though. That being said, I am disappointed, but if there was a second option I wanted to see, it was the Korean Zombie. Not because I think this fight would be very competitive. I think if this is Korean Zombie's healthy, I think it'd be pretty fun. The issue is, though, is that apparently he's had a fucked up shoulder. Years ago, when he fought Jose Aldo, he fucked up his shoulder, and he had to, obviously, part of the reason why he went into the military after that fight was because he needed to get surgery done, and he needed a long time to recover. That's why he took 4 years off, is he needed to recover that shoulder. He fucked up his shoulder again in the Ige fight, and he said that he probably wasn't going to fight for a while because of a result of him fucking up his shoulder. But you know what? He was like, you know what? I'm going to put that on hold. This is maybe my last title chance. I'm like 35, 30. I don't know how old Zombie is. I think he's 36. So yeah, man. And he's taking the chance. He's taking the gamble. If Zombie was healthy, I'd be way more interested in this fight. But I'm still happy to see one of the OGs of the game, you know, getting a title shot. I honestly thought he deserved it after he beat the shit out of Frankie in Korea. Instead, they had him fight Ortega, and that everything happened. That did happen, but. Yeah, man, I'm happy to see it, and obviously it's going to line up great with Aljamain Yan 2 going down. This is going to be a pretty fun pay-per-view. I mean, it's not going to do anything like UFC 272 numbers on pay-per-view, but in terms of fights, man, just strict fights.
Oh man, we didn't even get into the numbers you thought that could potentially make.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, but I mean, let's go back real quick. UFC 272. Do you think? Because we were talking about this in the pre-show. That's obviously the Masvidal, Covington, and then obviously Poirier, Diaz. Do you think that does the largest numbers for a non-Conor pay-per-view? Obviously, UFC 100 has the record at 1.6 million. I
think it could get close, and if not, it'll be one of the top ones that isn't with McGregor. And if not, I think it could break one of the like the Cerrone McGregor one potentially and stuff like that, the lower McGregor ones potentially. It has the potential to. Whether or not it happens is a different story, but I think if they appropriately put some names on there, maybe throw a guy like Sean O'Malley in there who has a big following. You know, some other guys like that. I think they could set up something pretty saucy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I'm pretty much on the same page with you. I think it could break it, and I know that's gonna sound pretty crazy to a lot of people because you know both these guys are coming off losses. This is essentially just a fight to be Kamaru's bitch.
No, I mean, no one gives a fuck, dude.
I know they don't give a fuck, but
casuals don't give a fuck.
This is a fight that, like, if it's promoted well, if they treat it like the fight that it is, if they give them all the press conferences, if they do everything correctly, combined with a Diaz-Poirier who got heat, you know, those two don't like each other, this shit could do 1.6. I could see it happening. Kamaru versus Jorge did 1.3.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
The first fight. The second fight only did, like...
But, I mean, the first fight was bad, though, so this time around...
Yeah, second time it did like 800,000, but that's because the first fight was fucking terrible.
Okay, but this with Nate, though? That actually gives me hella hope now that you say that.
Yeah, and these two got a massive rivalry. And here's the thing, dude. Colby has never shown to be a draw. He's never shown to ever be. In fact, Colby has like some of the lowest rated. Whenever he's like, I believe his fight against Robbie, I think, was the lowest rated ESPN UFC show of all time.
How was it though against Kamaru though? I know it wasn't because of him.
First time, I think they did okay on pay per view. Second time out, I don't know the numbers. Okay. So I don't have any.
I mean, I think there's potential though. I think there's great potential here now that you mentioned.
Apparently, so UC 268 is 700,000 on pay per view.
Okay, and second time with Jorge was 800. So yeah, no, there's something there. There's something there to look forward to.
So but here's the thing, dude. While a lot of Colby's fan base, like, I'm not sure how they're going to do on blind pay per view because this is going to be his first real time being like kind of the A side on pay per view. I probably actually Jorge, but regardless, these two. a lot of times casuals won't sell out money to watch these guys fight when it's like, oh, I like Jorge, but I don't really know about the other guy, or I like Colby, but I don't know about the other guy. If you know them, you know the other motherfucker. Like, you know who both these guys are. That's why I could see it 1.6.
Is this the guy who was holding Jorge in the back when he was cutting down to 155? He's like, come on, bro, don't give up. You got one more pound to go. He was that guy. But now he's the guy who's telling him, fuck you, this, and that, calling him street Jesus and shit. I mean, there's something here, man.
Exactly. And then you also add in the fact
God, I'd love to see a clip of that dude in the fucking lead up. You know how they do those hype videos?
Yeah.
The UFC does, and it's like Jorge and him in the back, and him cutting weight, and him talking to him, and them being cool. And it's like you know how Jorge has that YouTube series? What is it called? Oh, I can't think of it. It's Game Bread or whatever the fuck it's called. You know what I'm talking about though on his YouTube, where he fucking like documents all him leading up to fights and like clips of that shit, them being cool and hanging out at their apartment and cooking for some Brazilian chicks they just met. Shit like that, dude. Like it's gonna be so fucking good, dude. I mean, dude. I think the last time I've been this hyped for a pay-per-view had to been the Conor pay-per-view. That and the Izzy Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah, man, I am extremely, extremely hyped for this. I think it's going to be, and here's the thing, I'm actually going to go ahead and say it. A lot of people, Colby is a massive, massive favorite. I believe he's already a 3 or 4 to 1 favorite.
I mean, he should be a favorite. I'm not going to.
He should actually be a favorite. But I think that's like low-key crazy that he's that big of a favorite. Just to me personally.
No, I get it.
Just because, like, dude, people forget how good Jorge Masvidal is, man. And especially, people think that Jorge can't wrestle or anything. There's a reason why that first fight, they must have forgot. There's a reason why that first fight with Usman was so terrible. Because he couldn't take Jorge down.
Yeah, so they were stuck wall
installing. Yeah. He couldn't take him down. And Kamal was a whole lot better of a wrestler than Colby. And I think, like, if this fight stays on the feet, dude, Jorge has a damn good chance of winning. He really does. His gas is also shown to be better over the years. It's going to be a very, very good fight, very close fight as well. Then you add in
partners. They're all training partners.
They know each other so well too. And people like have looked back at like training footage, like, oh, bro, Colby's fucking him up in this video from like 2015. I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't
he was fucking him up back when he was in Strikeforce.
Yeah, dude, like, bro, what are you gonna think? Like, yeah, guys, he's your fucking head. Like, come on, an edited clip. Yeah, Colby's totally never shown to like live anything like ever, bro. Like, come on.
And still, I can't wait till the sparring footage comes out of Colby knocking down Jorge and yelling and still in his face, dude.
I can't wait for the press conferences because it's gonna be everybody going at everybody because all 4 of those guys have history. Like,
that's what I'm telling you. And they fill it up properly, dude. If they fill it up properly, I think it could be fucking insane.
And then they're gonna have that shit with like fucking, and here's the thing, it's like they market it well. They could just like, I'm assuming that, I don't know if it's actually official or not, but I'm assuming that's gonna be a 5-rounder between Diaz and Poirier.
Oh yeah. It has to be.
You can these guys combine 10 rounds, you can put them on stage. Everybody hates each other on stage. Like, except for Jorge and Dustin, I believe, are cool. But outside of that, like, Diaz hates Masvidal because they fought. Colby hates Dustin. Obviously, fucking Covington and Masvidal hate one another. Like, so it's like, everybody's gonna be going at everybody. Like, you can have the winner of the main fight the winner of the co-main.
Colby and Diaz cool? Or are they gonna trip a little bit too, just for shits and giggles?
Oh, come on, dude. When is Colby cool with anybody? Like, it's just.
I mean, he's just a villain. Maybe he's gonna go. Dude, maybe he's gonna come back to villain status. I'm kind of happy about it.
Yeah, man, he's got to.
No, dude. Yeah, man, I mean, dude, by the way, this would have been a great clip to cut right here. Angel and Josh get hard over UFC 272.
Dude, this fight is going to do huge numbers, straight up. It is going to be huge numbers. And, we'll just have to see what happens. And a lot of it depends on how they build it up. If they do it the right way, I could see it breaking a non-Conor record. I could see it happen. But obviously this is a ways away. It's going to be March 5th. I believe.
Hey, that's to be here sooner than what you think, bro.
I know, less than 2 months away. So,
yeah,
everybody strap in. We're gonna get ready for this build. Get ready for that fight. And just to go ahead and end things.
I mean, you don't want to talk about the rest, man. We got some other ones we could hit quick though. Just quick thoughts. I mean, it's not like these are going to be super complicated. I think.
Okay, then go ahead. I was about to bring up Derek Lewis and Ty.
Okay, well, I was going to go with the more main event. So Dariush Makhachev, man, that got announced. I mean, that was the fight to make, right? So. Fair.
Oh, entirely.
It's fair.
And that's a fight that I could see Benny pulling that off.
Dude, just you wait. I'm gonna throw the hype video that day on you know which one I'm talking about, dude.
I do know. Dude, I could see Benil Dariush pulling that one off. I think that Islam Makhachev has already been anointed champion by a lot of people, and I think it's a massive mistake.
It's not set till it's set, man. Not set.
It's not.
And by the way, dude, heartbreaking news on that card. Armin Sirikin pulled out against Yoel Alvarez. That would be a fucking banger.
Oh.
I know, dude. Shout out to the Spaniard. That guy needs to get his weight in check, though. No hate.
I do think that Arman would have fucked him up, though.
Against Joel Alvarez? I mean, fuck, dude. I don't know. Joel Alvarez coming in with a good weight cut. Maybe on the ground. But even then, Joel Alvarez is still slouched on the ground. He's fucking big, too, so that would have been some issues.
That's true. The only thing I'd be held up on is how big he is.
Dude, he's like 6'3", dude. Like, I kid you not. That's a big
I'm talking more like in terms of weight, but dude, I think Arman's going to be a future champion, straight up.
Potentially. I mean, he's going to be one of those guys we'll be talking down the line. Let's see.
I'm talking like within a year or two, man.
Oh shit! Okay,
like if he stays active.
What do you mean, Josh? Charles Oliveira is gonna be the first guy to defend the lightweight title more than 3 times. Isn't that what it is?
You know what's fun? I can see that happening, but dude, Arman is only 25 years old, dude.
That's the fucking scary part, right?
He's 25 years. He's given obviously Islam got knocked the fuck out. Outside of the time Islam got knocked the fuck out. Arman gave him a hell of a fight, man. Like, that's one I tell people. And Arman came in on like 2 weeks' notice.
He was 22, bro. Like, what do you expect out of a kid?
He was 22, came in on 2 weeks' notice, and he took a couple rounds, man. Like, he gave him a hell of a fight.
That fight was 5 rounds, though. No, I was kidding.
That fight was 5 rounds. Oh, my God.
No, I was kidding. What else do we got here? I kind of want to, since we want to talk about football, too, Josh, I want to give you your light, too.
Of course.
I want to fly through them a little here. I'm not trying to cut you off.
No,
fucking the battle of Rafael versus Rafael. I mean, he calls him out. I mean, that shit's lit, dude. He got that fight. I gotta respect that, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like call-outs never work anymore.
No, but
I'm not sure why.
It worked for Rafael Fiziev, dude.
It did. And that's gonna be a hell of a fight, man. I like Rafael Fiziev a lot. But dude, if there's a guy that's gonna shut that fucking door on him, you're just gonna like kick him out of the rankings, gatekeep, it's gonna be fucking Rafael dos Anjos, dude.
I mean, if there's anybody to do it, right? If there's anybody to do it.
Yeah, if there's anybody to do it, it's gonna be him. I like Fiziev a lot. I honestly, his win over Brad Riddell really, really impressed me, dude. Really, really impressed me. Mm-hmm. But dude, 5 rounds, it's gonna be interesting, man. Against a cardio machine like Dos Anjos, and Dos Anjos, man, full credit to him. He's 37 years old. He never gets the credit for the longevity that he deserves. Like, he's 37, still going strong, man. Even his losses, like, even like his time at 170 didn't go as well as probably should have. But dude, like he's still going strong, man. I mean, his win over Felder, Anderson Felder took that on short notice. That was still a hell of a fight.
That was a hell of a win too, though.
Huh?
That was a hell of a win, though. Like, you can't.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
The way he did it, you gotta give him credit, though. Like, regardless of, and also credit to Felder, like coming in short notice, bro. Like, regardless.
But yeah, man, that's an insane fight. It's gonna be a very, very fun one. I
don't know
my
birthday, by the way.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, man. I don't know the odds on that, but man, Dos Anjos, I could see him pulling it off. I could totally see him pulling it off.
And then, by the way, I've got 3 more, and then we'll end it on Derry. That'll be the 3rd one, just so you know.
Okay, go ahead.
And then Hermansson Strickland got announced. And that's been announced for quite a while, though. I mean, Sean Strickland, man, the PR is fucking fear every time he's on the internet or anywhere. If they could control his Twitter account, I'm sure they would.
Do you see his latest thing?
I don't even. Is it scary?
It actually isn't that bad. In fact, I think he probably would have liked it. Bob Saget died?
Yeah.
He tweeted something along the lines of, I don't think it's a full house anymore.
My God.
He also said that he would feel ashamed if he had a gay son, which got him into a bit of trouble. But
yes, that did get him into a bit of trouble. What is it called? I saw that Chael was talking. He's like, it's a character. Josh, do you think it's a character? I don't know, dude. It's like,
from what I've heard, it's not a character.
Dude, I don't think it's a character. Chael says it's a character. I'm like,
Chael says it's a character. I don't know if he'll feel comfortable. I'm not going to tell the exact story, but I know somebody that was at like a media day like years ago.
Oh, like someone you know who does media?
Yeah, somebody I'm friends with.
You haven't told me this, have you?
I think I might have told you it once. I'm not sure if you remember the story though.
We'll talk about it off air.
We talked about it off air.
Actually, no, I know what you're talking about now. Never mind.
Yeah, but let me go and tell the story.
Holy fuck, that is bad.
Yeah, let me go and tell the story. Let me go and tell real quick, dude.
With all the details, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna give you the exact details.
Okay. I was just making sure.
Yeah, so I know somebody that was like at a UFC Media Day like years ago, like before he was even relatively known. I'm talking like 2015, 2016, where he wasn't even a known guy at all. I think it was actually his fight for Kamaru actually was the media for this. And he did like a media scrum that was really, really weird. And then he kept on talking after the cameras went off, after the media scrum was done, and he started telling the neo-Nazi story. And he started like acting really fucking weird. And this is all with the camera off. And like I remember like one of the other media guys turned to a guy that I'm friends with, and he goes like right after Sean Strickland walks up, he's like, "Did you just say he was a fucking Nazi?" Like fucking like he did the whole thing. So I don't believe it was a story, and also I don't think it's a story because like
character.
Excuse me, I don't believe it's a character because like he's been keeping this thing going for a long time, and I feel like he would have cracked by now, man. Like it's not even a Colby type character either. You know how like Colby got like relevant by doing this? Sean Strickland isn't like getting anywhere with this. In fact, it's actively hurting his career by being fucking crazy.
Fuck it. No, I'm just kidding.
So, you know, I don't think it is a character at all. I mean, I understand Chael thinks it is, but you know, Chael says a lot of stuff. Chael's playing a character as well, so
yes,
that's a big factor.
I mean, we highlight Sean Strickland. We gotta highlight Jack Hermansson. I mean, dude, what a fucking tragedy, right? Just being so short of a title shot, right? That Jared Cannonier loss right there, dude, after coming off that Joffrey win. I mean, he was right there, wasn't he?
He was. He's entirely right there. And he's a guy that, like, dude, will he beat Izzy? No.
But he's interesting.
Is he a damn good challenge? Is he going to be posing some interesting stylistic, like, problems? Fuck yeah, man. Like, he got good gas. His takedowns have been getting better. He's been progressing a lot in terms of, like, the wrestling part of it. And his submission is hard. Yeah, his jiu-jitsu's insane. So, yeah, man, that's an interesting fight. And, I mean, I don't know who wins this one, though. I really don't know who wins this.
I mean, we'll talk about it when time comes. Okay, so this is our second to last one. Santos Ankalaev got announced. I mean, good fight. I mean, I'm not like, I think it's good. I don't know. I feel like I should be more excited about this. I don't know if you feel the same way.
It depends on which Thiago Santos shows up. I think Ankalaev is a future champion, but I could see Santos
well, potentially.
I could see Santos catching him if he actually decides to throw. His last few performances have been really hesitant. Now, granted, he was the one going forward in the Johnny Walker fight, but like the Alexander Rochester fight sucked. Like he's had a couple of rough ones now. But if he keeps on moving forward, I can see him catching Ankalaev. Ankalaev, I like him a lot, but he's pretty damn hittable. So we'll have to see. By the way,
that card's a banger. We're not gonna. I wish I could talk more, but if we start talking about this, we're gonna go down the rabbit hole. But definitely, if you have a chance to check that card out, dude, there's some fucking bangers on that card.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what is it now to the last one? Lewis versus Tuivasa, man. I mean, they announced it pretty quick for Derek, man. Credit to him though. He said he was down to fight again though. He said he wanted to make a lot of money this year, and shit. I mean, he's starting off the year hot.
He is, and this one's just for the culture, man. This one's for the culture. You know, Derek is coming off a huge win. He should be fighting a higher ranked guy. I want to say Ty's like 13 or 14 or something.
You know what's crazy?
He's not. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I feel like Derek should be fighting a guy like Stipe.
He should be.
Which is, like, it's not like an ideal matchup, but it's crazy because that's the guy he should be fighting, though.
That's
the fight that makes
sense. Winning, and, you know, he should have gotten. I hate that he took the Cyril Gane fight. I really do hate that he took the Cyril Gane fight. I know why he did. He wanted to fight in Houston. But, dude, had he just waited a month, he could have fought in Ngannou, and that's a way better matchup for him. So
I mean, the money must have been good too, though, dude. If they offered him good money, I assume. So it must have been hard to pass over. I mean, you can't really hate, but it should have been. Personally, I would have loved. I'm sad that we'll never probably see Derek Francis again. It's very unlikely now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Tuivasa, man, I mean, he's getting pushed hard, man. And honestly, now these last 2 years have been pretty fucking insane, man. I mean, it all started with that 7 Struve win way back with that Khabib and Gaethje fight back in Abu Dhabi. After that, Harry Hunsucker, Greg Hardy, which, okay, we could have seen that coming. And then I guess Sakai, man, I mean, that kind of sealed the deal for me. I was like, okay, this is pretty impressive. And that Sakai finish was, I mean, fuck, man, I missed it. I'm still pissed about that. I saw it on the replay, but goddamn, I'm still so mad about it. I'm like, don't turn off the TV. It might end here. Our TV kind of like fucked up. Turns off the TV, come back. And I was like, dude, I knew that was going to happen too.
Damn. Yeah, man, it's a very interesting fight. I think it's a bad match for Ty though. I think Derek Lewis, because he's slanging and banging, he had that reputation for a long time. He does not get the credit for kind of like the technical prowess that he's displayed over the years.
Oh yeah, because he's a memer.
Yeah, he's a memer, but full credit. Ty's improved a lot too, so we'll have to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, honestly, there's been a lot of fights announced. 2022 is shaping up to be a hell of a year, man.
I mean, that's how it always is, right? They start off the year so fucking strong, they end the year end the year very strong, and they keep us pretty well fed throughout the middle of the year, right? That's usually how it is. Let's be honest.
Traditionally, yeah.
Yeah, and plus that Bellator's about to come back. Their Grand Prix tournament's gonna start this year. I mean, that's gonna be exciting, and shit, Bellator comes back in 2 weeks. So
correct.
I mean, we'll be talking about that as well, man. I mean, another year packed with MMA, so. I mean, I'm fucking excited, dude.
Dude, same. And honestly, it's shaping up to be a great year. We'll have to see what happens. Obviously, you mentioned Bellator. I'm just waiting for one to make that fucking DJ fight, man. I'm still waiting on it.
I'm so ready, dude. I'm ready too, dude. I watched that live too.
Yeah, man. I'm so ready for that one. Very, very interesting fight, but we'll have to see what happens if it ever gets made, But yeah, man. Shaping to be a great year. And the last thing we're going to talk about on the show, the NFL playoffs. They're going down. We talked about the NFL at the start of the season. I don't believe we've touched on it since then, correct?
No.
So yeah, there's been a little bit of a little bit of time since then, to be clear, like 18 weeks. But we're going to go ahead and talk about it now. Obviously, a couple more predictions were off. I believe I gave I picked like division winners. I know I got some of them right, some of them wrong.
Do you have them saved by any chance? Can you tell us the difference?
Let me go ahead and actually pull them up real quickly.
Yeah, you do.
I remember them off the top of my head.
Who's your biggest surprise of the year? Just while we're on it.
In a good way or a bad way?
Both.
I am surprised that the Titans got the 1 seed. I'm surprised that Jacksonville was as bad as they were.
You thought Jacksonville was gonna be better?
Yeah, I actually thought that Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence is actually a pretty good combination. I was very wrong.
No, you were very wrong.
It's very wrong. Urban Meyer's a fucking offensive genius, dude. The fact that he was as bad as he was in Jacksonville.
I mean, he's not an NFL coach anymore.
He's not. And here's the worst part. It's like, it seems like they were like on an upward trajectory. Like, they were doing pretty good. They were winning a couple of games at like the middle part of the season to beat the Bills.
But Josh,
and then
there's one positive out of this.
Yeah.
They got the first overall pick again.
That's true. They're the repeats.
Who are they going to pick up?
Huh?
I don't even know. Who are they going to pick up, Josh?
Oh, I have no clue.
Yeah, you haven't been keeping up with college? You don't know who's gonna come into the draft?
Oh, I have no clue, yeah.
Fuck it.
I know this dude out of Michigan, Adam Hutchinson, I think. I've heard it's pretty good on defense, but
we'll see.
I've heard it's a rough draft class overall.
Hey man, there's years like that anyways, and plus that, you never know. There's always that sneaky gem, and especially in football, dude. I mean, the first overall pick isn't always the best player. So.
Yeah, true. I feel like football has like a lot of those guys. Like, I'm not sure how relative it is to something like baseball or some shit, but like in NFL, dude,
it's not like basketball.
Huh?
It's not like basketball.
Yeah, good guys come out at all points of the draft. Like just an example, like Tyreek Hill is like a fifth round pick.
Wait,
like,
no cap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got drafted day 3. I mean, Mahomes was like a first rounder, but I think Kelsey was 3rd round. Like, guys come out at all points.
Tom Brady.
Brady 6th round, like
dead last.
Yeah, like it happens at all times. Good guys come out at all points of the draft. So who really knows, honestly? Draft's kind of a gamble, but I just got the division pulled up. I picked Bills to win the division, which they did. I picked the Browns to win the division, which they did not. That was the Bengals. Browns got injured as shit this year. So
is that what happened? Oh yeah, what's his name? Baker was hurt the whole season, right shoulder.
Baker told the whole season they lost a bunch.
Was it
of
shoulder
guys.
or knee?
Both.
Oh fuck yeah, he was super banged up. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he tore his labrum in like week 2, and then he also dislocated his knee in like week 10, I think. Kept on playing though. Guy's a fucking trooper.
That guy's a fucking savage, dude. I love that video of him and his dad outside the arena. That shit was lit. I love that energy.
Yeah, man. They
those are some fucking cool dudes.
Yeah. I take this back. I don't remember who I predicted the AFC South. I want to say I picked the Titans, but I honestly don't remember. It was either the Titans or the Colts. Titans won the division.
Either way, though, they're right there next to each other. So
correct. I went ahead and picked the Chiefs to win the division, which they did. I picked the Cowboys to win the division, which they did. Packers to win the division, which they didn't. Bucks to win the division, which they did. Yeah, man, overall, I think I did pretty good. Obviously, I don't remember every single one of these division picks and all that stuff, but I think I did pretty well going on the line. If you guys want to go and fact check me, you can. But yeah, I think
a great job though.
I think I did a pretty good job, especially considering this year was so fucking unpredictable, dude. So unpredictable. I mean, if you look at dude, the Titans are the number one. I can't remember the last time this happened. Titans, the number one seed, in the entire fucking the AFC. They lost 5 games. It is so, for example, Packers, number one seed, they lost 4 games. Traditionally, to be the number one seed, you gotta only lose a game or two, dude. Everybody has, lost a shit ton of games this year, tons of upsets, tons of unexpected stuff, and now we lead in to the playoffs. Obviously, Titans have the week off, Packers have the week off, both those teams number one seeds, but we're gonna go and give, and by we, I mean I'm going to give.
I love that, by the way.
Angel, I'm sure you will agree with everything I say, right?
Yeah, always, dude. Dude, how could I ever disagree with a man who's always right about football?
Of course.
Don't you just love to hear that, Josh?
I love it, man. You know what, man? I love talking about football, but I gotta admit, I gotta toot my own horn. I seem to know my shit based off the last 2 years, you talking about it and going back and listening to it. I'm man, I was right on some shit, man. Like
I tell you, dude, I said, dude, one episode I'd love to just completely disagree on everything, but not know what I'm talking about.
It'd be pretty funny.
Someone would watch and they'd be like, what the fuck is he on
what the fuck
about?
The Jags aren't even in the playoffs. It's just, yeah, man. I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited. So we're gonna go.
OJ to win the MVP? The fuck?
The Juice hasn't even played for years.
He picked the Juice to win MVP and win the Super Bowl. Fuck, man. And then I just don't even know, dude. I could meme hard on it though. Who else?
I think one of these weeks you really should do it. But that week will not be this week. Yeah, man. It is gonna be, honestly, it's a really fun slate of games. So we're gonna start off with the most, it'll be the first one. First playoff game, Raiders Bengals. Obviously these two actually played earlier in the season. Bengals blew them the fuck out, 32-13. Obviously Raiders got into the playoffs off of beating the Chargers. Interesting thing, had they tied, they both would have made the playoffs. There's a whole lot of discussion on whether they will just choose to automatically tie rather than actually play.
If who would have tied?
If the Raiders and Chargers played in the last week of the season, had they tied, they both would have made the playoffs.
Oh shit, that's pretty cool.
Steelers would have been out.
Wow.
And there was a lot of conversation on whether they will just try to tie to assure they'll both make the playoffs, and they actually almost did. Raiders won the game off of a last, literally as time was expiring with a 50-yard field goal. And apparently the coach said, because near the end of the game, the Raiders, it was third down or something, and they were getting into field goal range, and, Chargers coach took a timeout to try and get the ball back. And apparently the Raiders coach kind of hinted, yeah, we were probably just going to take a knee. Try to tie, so rather than, risk a turnover and lose their game. After they took the timeout, they're like, you know what? Let's go win this shit. They changed their mind and they end up winning the game. Chargers missed out on the playoffs as a result.
You love to see that energy, don't you?
I love to see that energy. Raiders shouldn't be here at all. Raiders should not be here at all. Not even in the slightest. John Gruden got fired after week 5 because of, some certain emails with words I can't say on the show.
Whoa, is it the ones I heard about?
Yeah.
Was that one guy?
It was a lot of people.
I thought it was the one guy who's an ex-coach or whatever, and he was saying some pretty out there shit.
Yeah, it was that. That was the first one that got leaked, and he kept his job for that one, and then a lot of more.
Wasn't there some sexual harassment too in that?
I don't believe there was sexual harassment, but there was a lot of.
There was some race shit, wasn't it?
There was some race shit. There was some homophobic shit.
Yeah. I remember now.
Yeah, you can't really say
it's pretty fucking bad. Yeah, I remember.
Pretty bad. So that got leaked. He lost his job. They lost their head coach. Henry Ruggs, who was one of the best players on the team, arguably their best receiver, he's currently in a jail cell because
DUI?
DUI and killed a person.
Yes.
Yeah, killed a person and her dog. Terrible human being. He was going 160 miles an hour while drunk and crashed into some girl and she burned to death.
Probably
So
gonna get
fuck
a
Henry
manslaughter
Ruggs.
charge.
Yeah, so fuck Henry Ruggs. He's not playing on the team anymore. After all that shit, they still made the playoffs. And they weren't even expected to either. Like I said, I remember I said during the preseason, like I could see them being better than the Chargers. Chargers had a lot of hype, but I was like, I could see the Raiders making the playoffs. I never even expected them like half of the season. I was like, oh, it's done. It's done. But regardless, they're here taking on the Bengals. I like the Bengals a lot, man. I love that offense. I love Jamar Chase. I think this moment might be a little bit too soon for them, but in terms of like playoffs overall, like they're doing way better than they're supposed to. I do think they're going to beat the Raiders, though. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I feel like that first time that they played, the Raiders just choked down the stretch. I believe it was like a one-score game going into like the fourth, and they just completely collapsed. I think it's going to be a lot closer this time around. I am going to take the Bengals at home, though. I'm going to take them to get the win. But yeah, man, it's going to be a hell of a game. Hell of a game. I would not be surprised at all if the Raiders pulled it off. A lot of people really kind of sleeping on them, which they've done pretty much all season long. That night, another AFC game. Patriots-Bills. Patriots, man, a lot of people halfway through the season, they were like, oh shit, Patriots making the Super Bowl. It's going to be Patriots versus Brady. Oh my god. Like, everybody was like fucking, the NFL media was like losing their minds and shit. Like, Angel, doesn't that just appeal to you, just seeing the Patriots back in the Super Bowl again, man? I'm sure you're thrilled.
Dude, what fan isn't? Shout out Mac Jones.
Shout out Mac Jones. Yeah, so they collapsed to end the season. Naturally. It wasn't a horrific collapse by any means.
They folded.
They lost 3 of their last 4, and they lost to the Dolphins pretty bad. They lost to the Bills pretty bad. They lost to the Colts pretty bad. They beat the shit out of the Jaguars, and through that they made the playoffs. But they definitely are backing in to the playoffs as it stands right now.
So Josh Allen's about to go hard. Is that what I'm hearing?
I do think Josh Allen's going to go hard. I think the fact that they're playing at home, I like that. I like that a lot. And the Bills were a team that it looked like, after all the promise, after all the hype, they might not even make the big show, but they did. They ended the season on 4 straight wins, just dominating, and they've looked pretty good the second half of the season after struggling the first. So I am going to go and take the Bills. I would not be surprised if the Patriots pull it off, though. I think that, Belichick, he's always scheming, dude. He's always scheming.
He's nerding out. He's always nerding out.
He is, and if it comes down to, this is going to be a bad weather game.
Ooh. What kind of weather?
I don't know if it's
snow or rain?
I believe it's going to be rain, and it's going to be according to ESPN, it's going to be 2 degrees.
Holy fuck.
In Buffalo. And I'd just like to remind people, the first time they played earlier in the season, Patriots won the game by throwing the ball 3 times because it was like a damn, wind, was off the charts. It was raining. And they won the game just by rushing down the ball, having a great game plan, not deviating from it, and they won the fucking game, playing the most boring game of football of all time. And another bad weather game, can the Patriots pull it off? Potentially, but I'm going to choose to believe the Bills will actually, play to their strengths this time, and I think they're going to pull out the win, man. I think it's going to be very, very close, though. I think it's going to be very, very close.
Dude, there's something about shitty weather games, though, in sports that are played outside that is kind of fucking awesome, dude.
It's so awesome, dude. It's so awesome.
It's fucking raining. You're fucking drenched. You got to make a big play. You're slipping. You're falling. It's pretty.
Snow games are always the best, though.
Dude, that sounds fucking brutal, dude.
Oh yeah, I'm glad I'm not playing in them, but dude, snow games are always the most fun to watch. There's been some epic snow games.
Dude, if I was a quarterback, I'd just shove my hand in my ass, dude. I don't know how you keep your hands along that long. Dude, no, but you know what I mean? Throwing with cold hands, I know you got the gloves, right? They have but I'm that, there's no way that keeps you that warm.
Oh yeah. It's gotta suck.
I'm sure nowadays they have some stuff where they've kind of figured out something to get around it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, bro. I don't fuck with that.
There's heated benches, heated fields, stuff like that. So it's not as bad as it used to be, but
no, before you were just fucked.
Yeah, before you were just fucked. But it's fine now. But moving on, Sunday's games, 3-game slate.
Let's fucking go.
It's controversial that the NFL added in a 7th playoff team. I'm cool with it. I think they should actually do 8 playoff teams and give the first 2 seeds a bye, like how they used to. I think it's kind of stupid that they only have 7. And that, if you're the 2nd seed, there's no real incentive. There's no incentive to, winning games in the final part of the season anymore. Because it's all about seeding, but now that only one team gets a bye, there's no real point. So, that's just my opinion.
I like that, Josh, because, especially in this kind of sport where you get hurt, there's kind of an incentive to not playing a game.
Exactly. And I understand that. But it's more like,
it's for money, bro.
it's making a lot of games pointless. I think it should just add in like an 8th playoff team and just give the first 2 seed teams a bye. Like how they used to. And I always thought 6 playoff teams was pretty damn low. I understand that like they want to make it towards special. You know, like the NBA has 8 teams and like there's some shit ass teams in the playoffs.
Sometimes, not all the time.
Pretty much every single 8 seed sucks. I mean, there's a reason why like. I mean, there's been exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, like.
Hey, Lakers Suns was good.
Lakers were an 8 seed?
Were they? I thought
they were a 7 seed.
Or was that second? I mean, they were still down there though, bro.
They were 7 or 6. I don't remember though. Yeah, regardless though, I think it should just move it to 8. You know, there's some good teams that have already missed out on the playoffs, so it's not like they're going to be missing out on massive. Like, there's 7 seeds for both. 7 seeds.
I just looked it up, by the way. It was Jazz Grizzlies. Still pretty fun game.
Yeah. But for the most part, there's been some bad 8 seeds in the NBA. I don't think that's really the case here in football, especially considering it's one game. In one game, a lot of upsets have happened, dude. Like, every single year is a playoff upset. So, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, personally. But, you know, we'll see what happens. Right now, it is 7 teams in the playoffs, though. And that 7th team for the NFC is the Philadelphia Eagles. Getting into the playoffs, nobody expected them to. Jalen Hurts, man, hell of a season. Like, at one point, he was struggling. Looks like he's totally not going to be the guy. And passing numbers they're not killing it, you know. 3,000 yards, 60 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. But you got to consider, dude, on the ground, he's a monster, man. He's a straight up monster. And last time they played, you know, they didn't win. They did not win the game. However, they gave a pretty damn good run, and that was before the Philadelphia Eagles figured everything out. Like, they lost 28-22 in prime time. There were a lot of controversial calls. A lot of stuff went into that. I could see the Eagles pulling it off, dude. I really think so. A lot of the Bucs front line is injured right now. A lot of their D-line is really, really hurt, and that's pretty much one of their biggest strengths on defense. Well, it's by far their biggest strength on defense. I mean, you guys watched the fucking Super Bowl. Like their D-line is full of monsters. However, a lot of them are hurt. A lot of them may not be there. So waiting to see. I'll say it straight up, dude. If they're not fully healthy, but if like, how can I phrase this? If they're not halfway healthy, I would totally take the Eagles. However, from what I've seen, a lot of guys are going to be coming back for that team, so I'm going to go and take the Bucs at home. I am. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people expect. I'm not a believer in the Bucs this season.
Is there upset potential there, though, Josh? Or
there's absolutely upset.
Or would that be the upset, if there were to be one?
Well, most of the other games are pretty close. So this is the second highest line. Bucs are favored by 9. So I'm going to go and say, like, in terms of, like, upset potential, I'd most likely this one. Nobody's giving them a chance. I feel like they didn't really watch the game earlier this year. A lot. Even their offense is banged up too, dude. Like,
yeah,
they're
no more Antonio Brown.
No Antonio Brown. That's true. You know, they're fucking hurting right now, man. Like, they really, really are. I mean, if you look
I was going to ask you something. Did Devontae Smith play a lot this year? Was he good?
Oh, for the Eagles?
Yeah. Did he?
Yeah, he's pretty damn good.
I saw a couple clips where he had a nice couple catches. They call him what? Slim Reaper? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, Slim Reaper.
Fucking love that shit.
Yeah, he's pretty good, man. Like, he's not going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year or anything, but he's pretty damn good.
That's what you think, Josh. No, I was kidding.
He got close to getting 1,000 yards. He was their top receiver. So yeah,
who is going to be Rookie of the Year?
Oh my god, I feel so dumb, but I can't remember his name.
What team? Maybe I can remember for some dumb reason.
Just Google it real quickly.
Are you on it, Joe?
It might be. Yeah, it could be Jamar Chase. Yeah, I can remember the name.
Bengals, Jamar Chase. Yeah.
Yep, totally.
I know the name.
Yep, but yeah, dude. Mike Evans is banged up. They're without Chris Godwin. I could see the Bucs losing this game 110%.
Wait, so who is their offense right now? Obviously, they got Gronk
and Mike Evans is playing, but he's hurt. He's been playing banged up the last few weeks. Chris Godwin is out. They have no more AB. Yeah, man, they're hurting. They're hurting.
Is old man Brady gonna have to run the ball? He'd probably die.
Probably. Yeah, man. I'm not as high on the Bucs this year as everybody else is. I was more high on them last year. And then they ended up sucking during the season, and then, you know, they still pulled off the Super Bowl. But, you know, who knows? This year, I'm just not as high on them for a variety of reasons. But regardless, we'll see what happens. I am going to take them to win, though. But there is high upset potential, especially if the Bucs don't get a couple of key guys back on defense. Cowboys, 49ers, this one in AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Fuck, man, this is an interesting matchup for me personally. 49ers have been fucking Jekyll and Hyde all year, dude. Like, they straight up have. They've had injuries, but, I mean...
They're insanely competitive, though, aren't they? Aren't they, like, one of the NFL's, like, insanely competitive teams, like, always in the mix kind of type deal?
Yeah, correct. They've had some really, really close games all year long. And at one point it looked like, I want to say they were like 2-6 or something. They didn't look like they were going to make the playoffs. They rallied, dude. They straight up rallied to pull off some insane wins near the end of the year. But they've had some games where it's like, how did you lose that one? Like, they've had a couple of those games. Oh, shit.
Whoa, Josh, why are you getting so aggressive with the mic?
Fuck, man. No, and my fucking mic just fell for a reason. Goddamn, guys. Yeah, anyway, so they had a couple of games this year where it's like, how did you even lose that one? So, you know.
Wasn't George Kittle down this year, or was that the year before?
Huh?
Wasn't George Kittle down for a bit, or was that the year before?
That was the year before. Although I do think he did miss a couple of games. Okay. Yeah, he missed 3 games.
I knew he had gone down for a bit, so that's what I was asking.
Yeah, so, you know, but at the same time, man, the Cowboys, at one point, I was super high on them. They've had a weird stretch at various times this year. They started off hot, they cooled down during the middle of the year, and then they rallied near the end. This is an upset pick, Angel. I'm gonna take the 49ers to get the win on the road. I love that energy. I love the way this team has responded, man. Deebo Samuel has been killing it. And Jimmy G, dude, with his back against the wall last week, he was down 17-0 in the road, on the road in LA. And you know what, dude, he was playing hurt. He knows that Trey Lance is right on his ass about to steal his job. He played balls out, dude. He played balls out. He got the win, got the 49ers in the playoffs. And I don't think that they're going home early, man. I think they're going to play their ass off. I'm going to see the 49ers pull off the upset on the road. This is going to be a very good game, though. And then lastly, on Sunday night, prime time.
Let's go, champ.
Big Ben Roethlisberger moving on somehow into the playoffs. The Steelers.
That big old fuck.
Captain Fat Fuck is moving on into the playoffs. And he's going to be taking on the Chiefs. The last time these two teams played, it was the most effortless win I've probably seen during the Mahomes era. Like, there's been some blowout games. Like, there was not even a second that this game was close. They were up like 24-0 at halftime, bro. Like, they won 36-10, and those 10 points came as garbage time. Like,
isn't this team pretty banged up though too right now? Like the offenses, isn't Juju out? Some other guys are out?
Juju's been out all year.
Yeah, Juju's been out all year. Sad.
Yeah, and
shout out Juju.
Shout out Juju, man. I don't think this is going to go well for him at all. Like, the Steelers have a hell of a defense, man. But if there's a team that's built to beat that sort of defense, it's the fucking Kansas City Chiefs, dude. They're rushing and let me go and rephrase this. They're great on the D line. TJ Watt tying for most sacks in the season. Great on the D line, dude. But whenever you watch teams with like a great vertical offense, Packers destroyed him. Bengals destroyed him. Oakland destroyed him. You know, we destroyed them. They can't really stop a lot of guys deep, guys that have a quick release, that can get the ball out quick. Same thing's going to happen here. Mahomes is going to fucking wash these guys out of here, man. I mean, like, I was a little bit scared. I was a little bit scared whenever Kelsey got banged up near the end of the game. Obviously, Tyreek played like 3 plays last week or something because he got banged up in the pregame. But, yeah, this is not a good match for the Steelers. I think it's going to be the end of Big Ben's career here, man. I really think it is. He's
going to retire?
Yep, he's going to retire.
How's the overall Chiefs' health, by the way? Is everybody pretty good health? Like, everybody's there? Like, we're chilling?
Everybody is healthy with the exception of Kelsey and Hill.
Fuck, man.
They're still expected to play. It's a good thing that we got this matchup. Because we were without Kelsey whenever we played the Steelers the first time.
Oh, okay.
So, and we still destroyed them. So
He came in clutch last game, too, bro. I was like, fuck, man. And of course, it'd be him, right, out of everybody to...
Exactly. So
but that's just how it is, right?
Yeah, man. So, I'm not that worried. Just because we've already destroyed them once before, and we didn't even have them. So
wait, so if they are to win this, what they should win, when they do win this, who would they play after this?
Who would we play after this?
Yeah,
the lowest seed. I don't know who it will be.
Oh, okay.
So it could be the Bengals actually. I believe.
How would you feel about that? Just out of curiosity.
Scared. Pretty scared about it.
Okay, I just wanted to know ahead of time.
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals have... We've already lost him once before. We lost him a couple of weeks ago. That was a game we probably should have won. There was extremely bad refereeing in that one. We were on the road. It was, I don't want to say it was a fluke game, but like it was a hell of a game, but I don't think we lose that one again. If they replay that same game, I don't think it happens. So.
Call it as it is, Josh. No, I was kidding.
It was a fluke game. Like, it was bullshit. We got robbed. You guys know what it is. Yeah, man, I'm gonna take the Chiefs on Sunday. No ifs, ands, or buts. We're gonna dominate. Not worried.
Josh, no bias.
Monday Night Football, Cardinals, Rams.
That's like a fun game.
It's going to be a fun game. Cardinals suffered to end the season. They were the hottest team in the league. They started off 9-0, I want to say 8-0, something along those lines. And then they just kept on losing, dude. They just kept on fucking losing.
But they got banged up too, though, didn't they?
They got extremely banged up.
Yeah. Didn't J.J. Watt go down too?
J.J. Watt went down after game 8, which is funny enough, right when they started losing. Kyler Murray got hurt. He missed some time. James Conner got banged up. I don't know how much time he missed. I think he only missed a game or two. They've missed DeAndre Hopkins for pretty much the rest. I want to say since like week 14 or something. I believe he'll be back though.
Dang. What happened to him?
Which is huge. So, and they're also getting J.J. Watt back, which is also huge.
Oh shit! Everybody's coming.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much he's going to play though. So, yeah, we'll see.
And Kyler Murray's healthy now, right?
Kyler Murray is healthy.
Okay, so yeah, that's kind of that should feel good going into that game then.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking right now. I don't know if I believe Hopkins was supposed to return, but I'm not seeing anything that's confirmed. So, and apparently J.J. Watt will be back. So it's still iffy. Okay, yeah, J.J. Watt's practicing. He's gonna play.
Hey.
So, yeah, so that's gonna be nice. It seems like the Cardinals are gonna be healthier than they have been the second half of the season, but because I have so many question marks on them, I am gonna take the Rams. I was so high on the Rams, and they've been pretty disappointing. They picked up some wins to end the year, but dude, they've had to scratch a claw to get some of those wins, especially because Matthew Stafford, there's no other way to say it. He's kind of played trash to end the year. I mean,
Damn, Josh, let him know.
He's turned over the ball a lot, dude. He's turned over the ball a lot. It happens. He's had a couple of fumbles. He's thrown 17 interceptions. Most of those coming in the last few weeks. If he just settles down, I think he'll be fine. I am gonna take the Rams to win the game, but it's gonna be competitive, man. It's gonna be very, very competitive. These two, I want to say they split the games like during the regular season. Yeah, I just checked. They split the game during the regular season. Rams lost the first time, 37-20, but then they won the second time around, 30-23. It's gonna be a very close game, though. These two, it's gonna be a good game.
I love your breakdown, Josh. Just on everything.
Of course, man. I appreciate that. It's gonna be a fun playoffs.
Like I said, I hopefully one day we find some co-hosts who can come in for these football episodes, man. Or if you want to start doing football, it'd be dope to open up a second channel or open up another podcast where you can talk with someone about football. I've
contemplated it.
Hey, man, Forrest.
No, I don't think he's a really busy guy. I think he has the time to do it consistently. But
as I said, you guys had a great dynamic. I would have loved for you guys to do I know in the future you guys will probably do something again, but at least
I'll probably go on there again, but at some point in time.
Like I said, I loved your guys' dynamic, so just want to give him a little shout out.
Guys, Forrest Cast on Spotify.
Hey,
go check him out. Good man.
We spread the love. We spread the
love here. We're nice guys here. But regardless though, man, that's my breakdown for the playoffs. Angel, I'm sure you agree entirely with every single thing I said.
Josh, I would never disagree with you on your opinion on football ever.
Damn right you won't.
On other sports though, different story, man. Different story. Different story. Basketball, we've definitely disagreed a lot on this show. MMA, we've had plenty of disagreements off air. They haven't been put on air, but granted, we've had a lot of disagreements on air. When I defended Fedor last year, aggressively.
It's funny because you were also that whole thing was so funny because that whole thing started because I was hating on fucking who was I was shitting on Tim Johnson.
And
then you were like, dude, you gotta show some respect to Tim Johnson. I was like, I am. I think he's gonna be Fedor. And you were like, dude, how the fuck do you think he's gonna be Fedor?
I didn't even put it like that. We're not gonna get into this right now, but you know what I mean.
I know. It completely flipped halfway through the argument, though. It was very, very funny. Yeah, man, that's all I got this week in terms of playoffs. We'll probably talk about it a little bit more like next week, but
I mean, things are gonna play out by then. Pictures are gonna be more set, and then you can do like a full-on prediction when you'll be able to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I hope you guys enjoyed Angel. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we close out?
Nothing, man. I mean, we're back. I mean, this is like my favorite time of the year. Once we're back, I mean, it's going to be constant MMA from here on out. And I mean, dude, we're in for another great year. I'm excited for the next big, name or whoever that's going to be. Whatever upsets are going to happen, whatever big events are going to happen this year. And I mean, there's a lot of, next pay-per-view, man. I mean, there's that fight. I mean, honestly, both those. I mean, we didn't show enough. I mean, we didn't mention it because it's not coming up. But shit, the co-main on that has been disrespected. I mean, that hasn't been getting enough attention in my opinion. But once we get to that, we'll talk about that a lot more. And obviously, this week's MMA is a little on the weaker side. No disrespect to the fighters, but I mean, the card was a little better beforehand before some of the fighters fell out. But that's just how it goes. And shit happens. But I think we'll still have a good outcome. And it's gonna be a nice little card to come back into it. And it's gonna give us that little bit of hunger we had, and we're all going to tune in and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. For sure, man. For sure. So much coming up. So much that's fun going on in the sports world, especially in MMA, man. I mean, this opening slate to start the year is insane. Man. And it's going to only keep on getting better, man. It's only going to keep on getting better. Yeah, man. MMA is pretty much essentially at its peak right now, honestly.
Shit, and boxing, too.
And boxing,
Which we didn't get to talk about this show. Maybe we'll bring up that news next time.
Bring them next time. But overall, we hope you guys enjoyed. I'm at Josh Evanoff on Twitter. He's at Angel Ortega _01 at Courtside Sound for all things relating to the show. Make sure to subscribe, rate us on Spotify and Apple, and all that fun stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace and butt grease. Mouse click.